Next up, we have Miss Danielle Sandlin Perkins. She is the Justice Program Administrator at the Kentucky State Police. Her key responsibilities include administering the Handle with Care program, the Angel Initiative program, and victim advocacy and support services. So here's Miss Danielle, and she's going to talk to us about Kentucky State Police Handle with Care. And
Morning.
she is a recent graduate. She just finished her master's.
Yes, master's clinical psych. So, yeah,
We're
I'm,
very
I'm
proud
pretty,
of you. Congratulations.
yeah, I thought I would never get done. Well, good morning, everyone. And so this morning I'm going to be sharing our Handle with Care program. One of the things that I do, a lot of it is not going to be PowerPoint. It's Handle with Care tends to be a collaborative effort between us, the school systems, a lot of other working parts. And I found that if I sit and talk about it and share a PowerPoint, it gets pretty dry and dull. So I will be sharing a video. It's about 10 minutes long. It has all the pieces of Handle with Care, and you will see different players in how Handle with Care is implemented within the school system and how we have it. And then after the video, we'll talk a little bit more about our side, KSP side of Handle with Care as well, and answer any questions you might have. So, moment of truth, I am going to attempt to share my screen. Can everyone see the video?
Yes.
All right. I saw a thumbs up. So.
Hello, I'm Trooper Robert Purdy with the Kentucky State Police.
I'm Dr. Amy Shutt, Assistant Superintendent of Davis County Public Schools.
This video will introduce law enforcement and school personnel to Kentucky's Handle with Care program. This program is about helping all students across Kentucky succeed socially, emotionally, and academically in and out of the classroom.
Kentucky's Handle with Care is a partnership between law enforcement agencies and local school districts. It is one of the ways schools can collaborate with law enforcement as required in the School Safety and Resiliency Act, KRS 158-4416.
Oftentimes, when law enforcement officials are dispatched to a call, children and teens are present. This could be a vehicle collision, the arrest of a parent or guardian in the presence of the juvenile, an incident of domestic violence, an overdose, or a natural disaster.
Incidents such as these can be traumatic for students and impact behavior, social and emotional well-being, and cognition. Schools can provide assistance to students if we know they have been present at an incident.
When law enforcement officers are on the scene of an incident that involves a child under the age of 18, they will obtain the basic information about the child, including their current school, age, and grade. Law enforcement officials are required to complete electronic reports through the KYOPS system. Handle with Care is a simple addition to the reporting system that automatically notifies a local school district where the student is enrolled about the juvenile involved in the incident. Once the initial report is generated in the KYOPS reporting system, the law enforcement officer will simply click the Handle with Care option from the New Report drop-down menu, or right-click the associated incident report and choose the Handle with Care from selected option. Information about the juvenile will then be entered and submitted electronically.
This report will trigger an automated email to notify the district and school prior to the start of the next school day that this student was present at the scene of an incident involving law enforcement. Districts and schools will receive an email with the 3 words, Handle with Care, which includes the student's name, age, and grade. No other information about the incident will be provided.
The automated emails are triggered when the law enforcement officer clicks the Handle with Care button in KYOPS, but schools have to sign up for the Handle with Care in order to receive the notifications. Each local school must sign up individually through their Kentucky State Police Post Victims Advocate. You can find the Victims Advocate contact information by visiting KentuckyStatePolice.org and clicking the link to your local KSP post.
When you sign your school up to receive Handle with Care notification, you should be sure to specify multiple staff to receive Handle with Care notification. When deciding who will be listed, consider several things.
Staff must be able to check emails prior to the start of the school day.
Staff must have the flexibility to be able to follow up immediately and to not be limited to a classroom setting.
Staff who interact with students around social, emotional, and behavioral health matters such as school counselors, school social workers, family resource center coordinators, mental health clinicians should be among those who receive the Handle with Care notification.
A district level administrator should also be notified so district level tracking of Handle with Care notifications can support database decisions to drive student services.
Kentucky Handle with Care is a response to support students who have had exposure to trauma. Handle with Care enables supportive adults and mental health gatekeepers to provide a continuum of evidence-based supports for all students to build resiliency and overcome adversity.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jenny Sprang. I'm a professor of psychiatry at the University of Kentucky and executive director of the UK Center on Trauma in Children. You may be wondering why we're spending so much time talking about the trauma experiences of school children. Well, events like family or community violence, being in a house fire or motor vehicle accident, or having someone close to you die suddenly are not just emotionally distressing events. There's about 3 decades of research that tells us that these kinds of experiences can create changes in our brains and our biology. And these changes are not just short-term. The Adverse Childhood Experiences Study clearly documents the toxic effects of these kinds of experiences on the health and mental health of kids throughout childhood and well into adulthood. The good news is there's something we can do about this. Providing corrective emotional experiences through our relationships with children provides a context for healing and recovery. So getting an alert that a child is experiencing something that could be potentially traumatic while protecting the private details of what happened provides teachers and school officials with opportunities to provide special attention to those kids when they need it the most. This Handle with Care program provides that opportunity.
Handle with Care is likely to identify students who experience and may be living with a range of adversities and traumatic circumstances, such as ongoing domestic violence, a caregiver with a substance use or mental health disorder, inadequate food and shelter, or a lack of emotional support and nurturing.
When schools receive a Handle with Care notification, several things to support the student should be put in place immediately. Create a safe, nurturing environment. Maintain a regular routine, and be sure to let students know in advance of any changes in the schedule. Promote a strong sense of connection to the student. Ask them how they're doing. Observe and respond to any needs. You can do this without letting the student know that you've received the Handle with Care notification. Just give them a little extra attention. Observe, identify, and respond to any practical needs. Does the student need a change of clothes, to wash their hands or face, school supplies, breakfast, lunch, or snack, or maybe even a quiet place to lie down? Observe, identify, or respond to any changes in behavior, demeanor, or functioning. If you notice a student is struggling, quietly, privately, and gently ask them if there's anything you can do to help. Make some suggestions that maybe they spend some time in the Peace Corner or safe space, drawing, reading, or listening to music, using some calming activities. Or maybe they can spend some time in the counselor's office or the nurse's office. You can do this without letting the student know you received the Handle with Care notification, just offering support because you see that they're a little bit distressed. Adjust any academic expectations and requirements. Postpone tests or presentations. Avoid calling on the student for reading aloud or working out problems on the board. Continue to monitor the student. Identify any signs of distress that may indicate the need for a behavioral health, medical, or other referral or support service. If the student is already connected to a school counselor or behavioral health provider, be sure to collaborate with those colleagues to check in on the student. And of course, continue to monitor the student in the coming days, weeks, and even months. Remember that everybody responds to trauma differently. Some students may experience some distress immediately. Others may appear to be unaffected or maybe numb or on automatic pilot, but they may have some response later on. And remember, it's not our place to
to ask questions or investigate the incident.
Knowing the types of supports a student may need, schools should think carefully about who to alert to the Handle with Care for a particular student. It's important to respect the confidentiality and privacy of students and only share the Handle with Care notification with those who need to know in order to be able to offer support and resources to the student. This may include
principals,
school counselors,
school psychologists,
school social workers,
classroom teachers,
family resource and youth services center coordinators,
mental health therapist,
school resource officer.
In addition, think about other people who interact with the student and may have a positive and supportive connection to the student, including
bus drivers,
food service staff,
custodians, coaches.
It is important for district-level administrators to also receive Handle with Care notifications to ensure data-driven processes are used to inform student support services. This may include
superintendents,
assistant superintendent,
safe schools coordinators,
director of pupil personnel.
I'm John Akers, the director of the Kentucky Center for School Safety, and I support the Handle with Care program. Back in 2019, the General Assembly did us a great service by passing Senate Bill 1, the School Safety Resiliency Act. It's a school safety act, but it's a child safety act as well. And one of the parts of that, it deals with students who have been exposed to trauma outside the four walls of a school. I think it's only appropriate for folks that have knowledge about a child being traumatized outside of the four walls of a school, such as law enforcement, to be able to tell the educators that, hey, this child may have something going on and may need to have some additional assistance when he comes to school. So we certainly support something like this, and our educators certainly need this so we can also help our children when the time comes.
Hello, I'm Ben Wilcox, Kentucky State School Security Marshal. As part of Kentucky's School Safety and Resiliency Act, which was enacted March 11, 2019, it states that each local school board shall develop a plan for implementing trauma-informed approach in its schools. This plan must include collaboration with Kentucky State Police, local sheriff, and the chief of police to create procedures for notification of trauma-exposed students. Handle with Care is a way we are ensuring that portion of the bill is fulfilled for all Kentucky school districts. We are very excited to support Handle with Care and its goal to support Kentucky's trauma-exposed students.
And if I can unmute my speaker. So like I said, that video works much better than me talking about all the ways that Handle with Care is interconnected in the communities. And like I've heard before, it's one of those programs which I love because everybody says, oh, it takes a village, and it does. And this is just one way to support children and help to reduce those ACEs and also help with academic success in that way, because it's kind of hard to concentrate and learn when your amygdala is sitting and screaming at you continuously. I'm going to share this if I can get it to work. Sorry about that. I just wanted to share that currently we have over 14,000 schools that are registered. Those schools consist of public schools as well as some private schools as well, and some of the licensed daycare preschools. Also, there is a working group that across, if I can get, I can't talk, across the nation right now, because Handle with Care, it originated in West Virginia, and we have a national meeting of different areas that are either interested in Handle with Care, developing a planning phase for Handle with Care, and those states that have actively have Handle with Care. And currently you can see on the map that there are I believe 4 states the last time they looked that have a statewide Handle with Care program. And that's one of the reasons why I feel that Kentucky is so special, because with KY Ops, it allows a law enforcement officer to use that program no matter what agency they work with. It could be sheriff's deputies, city police, it could be KSP, but they can do a handle with care for a child anywhere in the state. So if you have a child that's outside of the school district, say they're visiting, they live in Prestonsburg and they're visiting grandparents in Mayfield in the western side of the state, then if they're involved in a law enforcement incident, a car accident, a house fire, incidents of domestic violence, then it gives law enforcement the ability to let that school know, hey, when they come back on Monday, they've been exposed to this. And I've been amazed at the number of times that I've heard children being at the scenes of these traumatic events and still going to school the next day. My name is Danielle Sandlin Perkins again. That is my email address. If you need anything for Handle with Care or Angel Initiative or victim services, you can just contact me. I will also put the link to the School Safety and Resiliency Act in the chat as soon as we get done. So that way, if you want to go and review that bill, then you're able to do that as well. And also, I'd like to share our website as well as our post map that will that allows you to see which post serves which county. So that way you can contact that post in order to get signed up for Handle with Care.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
I had a quick question. You showed about 1,400 schools that are enrolled. Do you know what percentage that is of our public schools?
I do not, because I know that we've had a number of schools that have integrated. So I know Perry County may be one of them that had like 2 or 3 schools that have integrated into one school. So I haven't been able to actually look at that list just yet and kind of consolidate down what exactly the percentage is.
Okay, and then a follow-up to that. Are there other approaches that folks are doing to meet, I believe it was a Senate bill that was requiring the integration of law enforcement in schools for trauma-informed care or trauma-informed approaches? Are there other alternatives that schools are doing that you know of?
I know that there are some cities that previously had their own Handle with Care notification system. So they may have had not like school law enforcement agency. It's not like the SORs, but just a total agency, just that are devoted to the school, and it's part of the city police. So that way they were doing notifications that way. And I know there was other cities that had like local notification systems as well. Some of those, well, about all of them have contacted us in order to sign up for notification through KY Ops as well.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions we have from Danielle in regards to the Handle with Care program? If you have those, please unmute yourself or write it in the chat. Danielle, do you have a website link that you can share for more information on Handle with Care?
Yes, ma'am. I'll share that in just a second. It would be the School Safety and Resiliency Act has all areas of that act, and it has a lot of information about Handle with Care and trauma-informed schools as well.
Thank you. All right. Well, we thank you, Danielle, for a very informative look at what we're doing to protect our kids that might be experience any ACE and how the schools are and the educators and the staff there are working to support them in conjunction with the law enforcement.